Hey guys, so this is going to be my first video in a series of videos that I want to do about meat preparedness. So this one's going to be a little more general, but I'll go into more detail on following videos, also depending on like what you guys want to hear, that kind of stuff. So this one I'm just going to give you my top few tips, on what I think you need to generally be prepared to go into a meat. So I'm not claiming to be an expert on meats. I'm by no means an expert on that. I just have a little bit more experience than most people that haven't done meats. So I think I can give some valuable information. So, my first tip is to definitely be on a peaking program. Regardless of your goals for your first meet, I think that it would be good to be on a peaking program so you're not only prepared to possibly hit PRs, but you just feel strong going into it, which has a lot to do with your confidence, and your confidence is going to greatly impact how you do in the meet. So being on a peaking program will get you not only get your strength to a peak, as the name would imply, but it'll get you used to working in singles, knowing what heavy weight feels like, and you'll just generally be more prepared to hit like what you're doing in a meet, heavy singles of a weight in the lifts. That was a really fucked up wording. The problem with what a lot of people do is they're not on a peaking program, they don't bother to seek one out or to figure out how to peak for a meet, and they will just continue their training as normal and then take some rest before the meet and then expect to hit some PRs. But that's not really how it works. That's not at all how it works. You're not going to just do that and then hit PRs, especially in a meet environment, which is something completely different from gym environment and training and whatever. And a lot of people think that they can just do that and then go into a meet and do well. And the big thing about a meet is working well with the meet environment and working well with not being in control of when you go, not getting all the rest you want, maybe not having all the time that you want to warm up, that kind of stuff. So you have to learn how to work well with that. And generally, I think that being on a peaking program will get you way better prepared to do that than if you were to just continue your training as normal and then maybe take a little bit of rest before the meet and then do the meet. So that's not a good way to get prepared. I don't recommend doing that. I did that for my first meet, and I actually want to show you some videos of my attempts from my first meet. It's pretty funny. So I'll show you in order in this video: squat, bench, deadlift, how my attempts went. Just fun to see. My next piece of advice is to have a handler. Now, your handler doesn't have to be someone that's really experienced in powerlifting. I would go so far as to say they don't have to have even competed before. I just think that it's good to have someone to help keep you organized and watch your attempts, help you select your following attempt, and just be kind of your eyes and ears so that you don't have to sit around and continually listen for the announcer. So that way you can just kind of go there and focus on lifting. So if you have a handler, they can be doing all that stuff for you and tell you, okay, there are this many people ahead of you, you should warm up now. And then when they hear you are one out, they'll tell you, okay, you're going soon, so get ready, get your stuff on, go over and wait to go out onto the platform. It would help if they were experienced. They don't have to be experienced. It's generally just someone that'll kind of keep you more organized for the meet, and it makes it a little less hectic. I went without a handler to my first meet, and I will never do it ever again. Even if I just have some random friend come with me, I will never go without a handler because at my first meet, it was so hectic, kind of just trying to listen for the announcer saying when I was up, all that stuff, and then picking my attempts by myself. I just really don't want to do that. I just want to go and focus on hitting my numbers. And I feel like that's what everyone's goal should be at a meet. Just go focus on lifting without having to do all that stuff. Have your openers selected. Don't go without having hit your openers in the gym. I think it would be great to pick your openers a few weeks before you go to the meet when you have a general idea of where your strength is at, and then hit your openers about a week before your meet so you know what they feel like, you know that it's going to be a weight you're not going to bomb out on, and just knowing what it feels like in general. And then that'll make it easier to pick your second and third attempts after you have an opener that goes well. And so, yeah, that's just generally a good thing to do. Know what one out, in the hole, and on deck means. The announcer will say, like, Nico is one out, Nico is in the hole, Nico's on deck. So one out means that there's someone up right now, someone after them, and then you're the third person. In the hole is the second person about to go, and on deck means you are going right now, so you better get all your shit together and get on the platform. And finally, know the commands. In squat, there is a start command, and actually I'll show you my squat video right now. During my meet, I missed the start command, and this attempt was not. It was red lighted because I missed the start command, so I think squat might be the hardest one to get the commands for, because you kind of just go out pumped up, you unrack the bar, and then you walk it out, and you want to just squat it, but you can't do that. You got to unrack it, walk it out, stand there, look at the head judge, and wait for them to tell you start. And then you squat, and then you have to wait for them to say rack, and then you can rack it. On bench, there's the start command, so you'll unrack it, and then wait for the judge to say start, and then you have to pause at the bottom, and then they say press, and then you have to wait at the top and wait for them to say rack. And then deadlift, I think deadlift is the second hardest because there is no start command, so you can, once you're called up, you can just go out, rip the weight off the ground, but you have to hold it at the lockout and wait for the judge to say down. I know it's really easy for people to miss their attempts just because they forget that. They'll get amped up, rip the weight off the ground, throw it down, and then turn around and see 3 red lights, and they're like, what the hell did I do? And you missed the down command is what you did. So don't do that. That's a really shitty way to miss an attempt. And although you can go up on following attempts, if it's your third attempt and you forget that, you're screwed. So pay attention to that. I really think that's a huge aspect of doing well in a meet. And another way to get, how I would go about getting used to these commands is either having someone in the gym with you and have them give you the commands on the lifts, or you can exaggerate your lifts. Like when I squat, I unrack the bar, walk out, and then I look up and pause before I squat the weight. And this is generally for sets of whatever. I do it at the beginning and the end of my reps. And it's just to get myself to stay like cool and collected and realize that I'm going to have to be waiting for a start command in a meet. And then for bench, just make sure you pause all your reps, and then don't, like, when you do a rep that's your last one, don't like go up and then rack it right away. Just go up, pause at the top, and then rack it. And then the same thing for deadlifts. Don't just like go up, down, up, down, up, down. Go up, hold it, down. That kind of thing. And so it doesn't have to be anything extreme, just something like that that'll get you a little more used to waiting. So this is really it. This video has gone a little longer than I expected or wanted it to. So if you like this, you want more tips, maybe you want me to go more in depth on meet day nutrition or attempt selection, that kind of thing, definitely let me know, and I would love to go more in depth, but I'm going to cut this video off right here. So thank you for watching. If you like this, please like and subscribe, and let us know what you want to see in future videos. So see you guys.